Hi everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we installed Active Directory and DNS on our Windows Server 2022 machine, and that completed the process of making it our domain controller. In today's video, we're taking the next step, joining devices to the domain. We'll join a Windows 11 client computer, and we'll also join a Windows Server 2022 core machine as a member server. Before we get started, there are three important checks you should always make. First, check the network settings. All devices must be on the correct network and able to communicate with the domain controller. Second, verify the DNS settings. Each device must point its DNS to the IP address of the domain controller, because DNS is required for locating domain services. Third, when joining the device, make sure to use the fully qualified domain name. In my case, it's prdm.com. Here's a quick overview of my lab environments. I have two client machines, both running Windows 11, connected through a switch. My domain controller, BRDC1, is running Windows Server 2022 and hosting the domain prdm.com. I also have a server core machine that will be joining to the same domain as a member server. Everything is connected to the same network, and you can see the IP addresses for each device. And that's everything we needed before beginning the domain join process. So let's get started. The first device we're going to join is PC6, one of my Windows 11 client machines, and it will be joining the domain prdm.com. So let's go to the virtual machine. Both of our virtual machines are up and running. BRDC1, which is our domain controller, and PC6, which will be joining the domain. So let's start with the domain controller. I'll log in using input, Ctrl-Alt-Delete, type your password, once you're logged in, Server Manager opens automatically. This is the main dashboard we use to manage the server and its roles. You can see here we have ADDS role and also DNS role. Click Local Server. Here you can see the computer name, and right here it shows that this machine is the domain. We can also see that the firewall is turned on, and the IP address is 192.168.1.1, which is important because this server is also acting as our DNS server. Next, let's open Active Directory Users and Computer. At the top of Server Manager, click Tools. Click Active Directory Users and Computers. Here you can see our domain prdm.com. If we expand it, we see the default organizational units that were automatically created during installation. Under Domain Controllers, we see our first domain controller, BRDC1, which is also marked as a global catalog. You can see here from GC. If we click Computers, it's currently empty, which is expected because we haven't joined any client machines yet. Once we join PC6, it will appear here. Under Users, we can see the default accounts and groups created by Active Directory. For example, Domain Admins is a powerful group with full control over all users and computers in the domain. Now that we're familiar with Active Directory and know where the computer object will appear, let's switch over to PC6 and start the domain join process. PC6 is up and running, so let's begin with the first step, verifying the IP address. On Windows 11, change adapter option is a little hidden, so the fastest way is to open it like this. Press Windows plus R, type ncpa.cpl, and press Enter. Right-click Ethernet, click Properties. Disable IPv6. That's usually recommended in simple labs because sometimes the computer tries to reach the domain controller using IPv6, but our domain controller is only using IPv4. So click Internet Protocol version 4 TCP IPv4 and click Properties. This PC has the IP address 192.168.1.16. We don't need a default gateway because both machines are on the same LAN. But notice here, we don't have a DNS server configured. We need to set the DNS server to the domain controller's IP address. So type 192.168.1.1. This allows the client to locate the domain by name. Click OK, and let's close everything. Now let's test the connectivity. Type cmd for command prompt. Type ping 192.168.1.1 and press enter. Here I tried to ping my domain controller, but I'm getting request time out. That usually means the two virtual machines are not communicating with each other. One common reason is that they are using different network modes in VirtualBox. For example, if the domain controller is set to internal network but PC6 is using NAT or bridged adapter, they won't be on the same network, so the ping will fail. So let's try to fix that. Go to Settings. So here we are in the settings of the BR DC1, the domain controller. Let's go to Network. So we have to make sure it's using Internet Network. Click OK. And let's do the same to BC6. Click Settings. Go to Network. And also choose Internet Network. And click OK. Now let's try to ping again. You can see here that we are getting a reply. You can see here that we are getting replies from 192.168.1.1. That means we can reach the domain controller. Now let's test the DNS by pinging the domain name. Type ping prdm.com and press enter. And you can also see that here we're getting replies from 192.168.1, which means DNS is working and we can reach the domain by its fully qualified domain name. Now we're ready to join this machine to the domain. Press Windows plus R, type system.cbl and press enter. You can see here to rename this computer or change its domain, we want to change the domain, so click Change. Now it's in a work group. We want to join a domain, so click Domain. Member of which domain? prdm.com. By default, any authenticated user can join up to 10 computers to the domain. To demonstrate this, I'm going to create a regular user in Active Directory and use that account to join BC6 to the domain. So let's go back to the domain controller. We need to log in. Click Input, Keyboard, Control Delete. Okay, let's go to Users. Click here to create a new user. Type user1. User login name, type also user1. Click Next and type your password. Make sure to uncheck this box, user must change password at the next login, and click Next. Click Finish. Now user 1 exists in the domain. Let's go back to PC6 and use that account to join the domain. Click OK. You can see it's asking us which user we want to use to join the computer to the domain. A domain admin could do this, but I'm using user 1 to show you that any authenticated user can join a computer to the domain. Type user 1 and the password that you just created and click OK. And there it is. Welcome to the brdm.com domain. The join was successful. Click OK. Click OK, and when it's asked to restart, choose Restart Now. Restart now. While PC6 is restarting, let's go back to the domain controller. In Active Directory Users and Computers, click Computers container. Okay, now we can see that we have PC6 in our computers container. This means the machine successfully joined the domain, and the domain controller can now recognize it and manage it. I think PC6 has finished restarting, so let's log in. Type your password. Now let's quickly verify that this machine has successfully joined the domain. Press Windows plus R. Type system.cpl and press enter. You can see here that the computer is now part of the domain brdm.com, and the computer full name is pc6.brdm.com. This confirms the domain join was successful. We've now successfully joined PC6 to the domain. Now let's move on to the second machine. The first machine, PC6, has joined the domain successfully. Next, we'll join the second machine, a member server to the same domain. Before I start, I powered off PC6 to save memory since we no longer need it running during this part of the lab. Now let's go to our member server. I'm going to start by changing the name. I'll name it PR Core and click OK. Now let's power up the server. Double click. Now let's log in. Click Input, Keyboard, Ctrl-Alt-Delete, and type your administrator password. The server configuration menu, sconfig, opens automatically because server core has no graphical interface. Right now the server still has the old name. Let's start by changing the server name. Type 2 to change the computer name. You can see here, type 2 and press enter. Enter the new computer name. I'm going to name it PR Core and press enter. The change will take effect after you restart your computer. Type Y for yes and press enter. Server core reboots very quickly because it has no graphical interface and uses fewer system resources than a full server with desktop experience. The server is up and running, so let's log in. Click Keyboard, Input, Ctrl-Alt-Delete, and type your password. Press enter. Now let's check the network settings. Type 8 and press enter. Choose the network adapter and type 1. Here you can see the IP address is 192.168.1.2, but we don't have a DNS server. To set the DNS server, type 2 and click enter. Type 192.168.1.1 for the DNS and press enter. It's asking if we want to enter an alternate DNS server. This is used when the primary DNS is unavailable, but in our lab setup, we don't have a secondary DNS, so we'll choose none. Press enter to continue. Now let's test the connectivity. Type 15 to exit and say ping 192.168.1.1 and press enter. We get replies, so the network is working. Now let's test the DNS server. Ping brdm.com. Make sure to use the fully qualified domain name and press enter. And we get replies from 192.168.1.1. Now we're ready to join the domain. Now let's type sconfig to go back to the menu. To join the domain, click 1 here, domain and work group. Now we are in a work group, so let's change to that. Type 1 and press enter. To join a domain, type D and press enter. Name of the domain that we want to join is brdm.com. Now it's asking for the user that we want to use to join the domain. Let's use the same user, user1. Type user1 and press enter. Now type the password of user1. The change will take effect after you restart your computer. Type Y and the server will start restarting. Here it's asking to enter the computer name again. It's okay, we're going to write it again. BR core and press enter. Password for user 1. Let's type the password. Type Y to restart now. And the server start rebooting. Applying computer settings. And now let's log in. Click Input, Keyboard, Ctrl-Alt-Delete, and enter your administrator password. sconfig is loading. You will see that the server now belongs to brdm.com. This confirms it has successfully joined the domain. Finally, let's go to the domain controller. Click Input, Keyboard, Ctrl-Alt-Delete, and type your password. Server Manager will open automatically. Go to Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers, click Computers, and you can see the member server brcore has joined the domain successfully using the server configuration menu. And that's everything for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.